but I was a first-classman here, getting ready to graduate, getting ready to get married. Got married on graduation day. We're still together. Excellent judgment on her part, and great judgment on my part. So I have to give a little bit more. But 3 daughters, 9 grandchildren later, and a whole bunch of success that I find crazy to even think of. I always think back of how it started. And for all of you, you know, you should take advantage of the time you're here. And when I was a cadet, my classmates would say, "What the hell are you talking about?" And now I know what I'm talking about. There's not a day in my life that I don't wake up and say, I'm proud and I'm lucky to be a graduate of the best school in the world. The only school in the world that teaches leadership and winning. That's what this school does. And it teaches it better than any place in the world. In 2008, when we were in the Beijing Olympics, former President Bush, number 41, I was fortunate to become a friend of his through some speaking. He invited me for a dinner in one of the nights during the Olympics at what's called the China Red House. That's where Mao and all the leaders of China lived. And the dinner that I was at, I was quiet. I tried not to say anything, just not make a mistake. He and one of the former leader of China spoke, and we listened, and then we had a meal. And there were 12 people sitting around this table. And I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell am I doing here? You know, how is a basketball coach sitting here? It was the night after we had beaten China in the Olympics. They had Yao Ming, 7'4", and it was the most viewed athletic event ever in the history of the world, because there are more Chinese people than anyone in the history of the world, and it's a lot of people. And President Bush tried to get me involved with a conversation by saying, you know, Coach K, Mike is, he just beat your team with his team and Yao and all that. And they couldn't really give a darn about it. So I'm just sitting and eating, and all of a sudden, he thinks that I'm not being included, and he says, you know, Mike is a graduate of the United States Military Academy, West Point. As soon as he said that, silverware dropped. Everybody at the table, all of a sudden, I had this distinction. And for the next half hour, they peppered me with questions about, tell me about West Point, tell me about this, tell me about that. So as you're going through this, understand, whatever you do will not be as good as being a graduate of this place. And whatever you do will be a result of what you've learned here. In the last last 4 weeks, I've gone through really a study of winning and leadership. And I want to tell you about 2 things. My first 3 years at Duke, we were 38 and 47. I was almost fired, and since then we've averaged about 29 wins a season. And basically, what I tried to do, and what I continue to try to do is to build a culture that is deserving of winning. This past year, our team won, and we've won championships and whatever, but this past year, we had an excellent year that ended horribly. We got beat in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and instead of blaming people and I looked at our culture, and I said, what are all of us doing, and what am I doing as the leader to prepare the kids I have to play well? And in this last month, I've upped the standards of our culture. We weren't doing it on a day-to-day level. And so in the units that you will have the privilege to lead and serve in, as a leader, it's not about you, it's about your culture. And what do you add to that culture on a day-to-day basis? And is everyone consistent in your culture? Are you on time? Do you show up? Do you show up ready to give your best? Do you say please? Do you say thank you? Do you know each other's names? Do you communicate? There are a whole bunch of things that on a day-to-day basis we take for granted. But what it does, it sets that air, that culture, that environment that hopefully is conducive to winning. The other thing is, in saying that, I'll probably be criticized for this, but anyway, what the hell. When I was a cadet here, when I was an upperclassman, and someone would say, beat Navy to me, I was captain of the basketball team. I told the plebes in my company, never say that to me. Sir, yes sir. And I said, do you want to know why? Yeah. Whenever you see me say, beat everybody. All right? And if you're really going to be a winner, you should want to beat more than Navy. All right? And how the hell would you beat Navy if that's the only thing that's important or will save you? I would rather have a championship game every game that I play in, or my team plays in, so that when you get to that game, you're accustomed to it. Yeah. When I got to Duke and we lost all those games, and our rival is North Carolina, or one of them, and we got beat most of the time. We weren't good enough. And then all of a sudden, we beat them, and we beat them 3 times in a year. And the first time we beat them, all of a sudden there were bumper stickers with the score, Duke so-and-so, UNC this. And I couldn't stand it. I went to our bookstore, I went to our athletic department, I said, take those things back. I said, what do you mean? We're proud, we won. I said, our program is not defined by who we beat. Our program is going to be defined on what we accomplish. I said, the only time I want a sticker is when we win the ACC championship, when we finish #1, when we go to the Final Four, and hopefully one day we'll win a national championship. And so I'm not saying not to beat Navy, but God darn it, beat everybody. Beat everybody. The second thing, and I know you all are, and I didn't say get the hell off the stage or whatever, but I got one other thing to tell you. The thing that I'm most proud of, one of the things I'm most proud of, and it helps sets an amazing environment, is our honor code. You don't lie, you don't cheat, and you don't steal. In other words, you have an environment where you can trust everyone. When they say something to you, you know it's the truth. And that's a heck of an example to take forward with you in every unit that you have. I do that with my Duke teams and with my national team. We start out saying, you look each other in the eye, you always tell each other the truth. But there's another part of that honor code, and that is you do not tolerate anyone who does those things. So as a competitor and a winner, especially in a team environment, you are not only responsible for your individual excellence, like I'm working out, I want to get better, how can I do this, how can I do that? You are responsible for making the person on your right, on your left, in front of you and behind you adhere to the same standard. And so on my team this year, I was not able to do that. You were going to have, as a leader, great days, good days, and you're going to have bad days because you're a human being. You do that athletically, and teams go through that. Everybody can win when it's going great. A lot of people can win when it's going pretty good. Hardly anybody can win when it's going bad. But if you've developed that I'm pursuing excellence and you do not tolerate anyone around you who does not do it, on those bad days, you will be able to change the course of your unit and of your performance. I was not able to do that with my team this year. And that's a goal of mine, because over the years, you do not win a national championship, you do not win an Olympics, unless you can play well and win when it is not going well. And so as leaders, excuse me, take care of your culture. As leaders, pursue your own personal excellence and have everyone pursue it in your unit. But do not tolerate anything less than someone's best. If you create that type of dynamic, you got it. If you create that type of dynamic, you're going to do things that hardly anybody can do. If you create that dynamic, you do why this school is on this planet. This school has put you in a position to do it. God darn it, then do it. Thanks for having me here, all right?